Hey YouTube. This is my first video that I'm doing documenting my pregnancy, and I'm already 35 weeks pregnant, so it's a little late in this pregnancy to be starting, but I think you're never better late than never. So I guess I should kind of go back and recap on the first 8 months of this pregnancy. So I found out I was pregnant about a month after returning from a trip to China in August, and I was pretty shocked because we weren't planning another pregnancy. So to be honest, I was waiting for my period and it was late a couple of days, and like a lot of women do, they just flippantly take a pregnancy test and expect it to be negative. And usually when I've done this, I've taken the pregnancy test, and as I'm like taking the pregnancy test, after I finish peeing on the stick, I see blood and I've started my period. So I've wasted a whole pregnancy test. But this time was very different because I peed on the pregnancy test and I walked away, and then I totally forgot about it. Because, you know, when you have 2 other children, you have a lot going on in your life. You're just constantly thinking about other things. So I walked away. About an hour later, I walked back into the bathroom to use the bathroom, and I saw the stick lying there, and it had 2 very, very dark lines. And my first reaction was shock and frustration. I just didn't really want to be pregnant right now. I want this to be a really honest video, and I didn't want to be pregnant physically, emotionally. This time in my life, I have a lot that I'm doing for myself. And that becomes limited when you're pregnant, and it also becomes limited when you're having another child and you have a baby. But I think that's why I've wanted to document this pregnancy on YouTube so I can look back for a long time, but I've been kind of hesitant and reluctant because it's taken me a long time to become to kind of bond with this pregnancy and to become comfortable and settled into this pregnancy. But I have embraced it and loved it and taken every moment I possibly can to really feel this pregnancy, but that did take me, I think, a few months to get to that point. So starting this vlog now, I'm at that point where I'm getting closer to having my baby, and I wanted to be able to look back and see this time in my life, this time in my children's life. So I guess I should do a bit of a recap of the first few months. So with both of my children, I had severe nausea. Not hyperemesis, but pretty severe that I needed to medicate myself. And with my last pregnancy, I waited quite a while to do this, and suffered for weeks and weeks because I was stubborn, thinking I could use natural remedies or I could just kind of tough it out. And finally I found that Unisom and the B12 mixture combination worked really well, except the only problem is Unisom is a sleeping pill. So I was not only tired from being pregnant, but also tired from taking sleeping pills, and I could never seem to time it right. So I work nights as a nurse, so I'd work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And the best way for me to take it was when I got home in the morning, if I had to go to sleep and go back to work. So I got home at 7 a.m. If I took that sleeping pill, have really nice sleep. And by the time I woke up for work that night, then I would feel pretty good. I might have a little nausea, but not to the point where I needed to throw up or just felt like I couldn't function. But I could never seem to get this timing right. I would forget, or you know, I would end up taking it before I went to work, so I was just exhausted the first half of my shift. And this time the nausea lasted to almost 18 weeks, which kind of threw me through a loop, because with my other two it was pretty standard. By the second trimester I was fine, but this was a little extended, so that kind of pushed me a little bit as far as being able to function, and especially, like I said, having two children, working full-time as a night shift nurse, it was a little bit exhausting. But luckily my husband works from home, and I was able to sleep pretty much whenever I needed to, and I did. I slept on my days off, I slept all day. On the days I worked, I slept all day. And I just kind of felt like I slept the first part of my pregnancy away. But by the time the nausea was gone, the second part of my pregnancy was great. Physically, I felt a lot better. I've been doing acro yoga consistently throughout my pregnancy. I don't know if you guys know what acro yoga is, but I'm planning on posting some videos of me doing acro yoga while pregnant. It's such an amazing exercise that involves connection with people, and I think that physically it has pushed me beyond some limits as far as being pregnant, but I think in a lot of ways it's also made me feel better, and I'm gonna have to give it up at some point. Maybe I think I could probably still do it up until, you know, the day that I have this baby, but I have had to reel it in a little bit and not do a lot of the things that I would like to do because they're just not safe. Anyways, yeah, so the second part of my pregnancy is great, and now I'm in the third trimester, and I am feeling pregnant for sure. I am having some lower back pain, and I think, again, that's probably from pushing myself physically too hard, but it's really hard for me to just kind of lay around and not do anything. I have to keep going and doing things and getting things done. I'm starting to feel a little anxious about this baby coming because I want the house to be in order, clean, and not have to worry about it once the baby's here. But I think that's most moms, so I'm sure that's pretty normal. Other than that, the plan is for a home birth. My first was birth center. She was born in the water. My second was a land birth, born at home. And I'm really hoping that everything goes well and we will have a third successful home birth. And I think the reason I kind of say that with a little hesitation is just because I believe that it's good to have a healthy perspective, and I was a doula for years, a birth photographer, and I am a NICU nurse. So I've kind of seen it all, and I've only seen successful home births, but I know that there's those possibilities, and I honestly don't want to end up at my job with my baby. That's not the plan at all. I don't want to end up in the hospital I work at, because being in the hospital having my baby gives me anxiety. Having my baby at home makes me feel peaceful. But anyways, I think this was a short video, and this is a really quick kind of like recap and update, and I would like for the next video to be more in depth. So if you guys have any questions for me, that would be really cool if you could leave them down below, and I will try to answer all of them if, you know, yeah, I think I'm going to end this video. I'm going to show what my belly looks like at 35 weeks with my third child. And the next video, like I said, I'll go into more depth about maybe my personal background. Like I said, I'm a NICU nurse, and some of my family's dynamics, like the ages of my children, or yeah, so I'm ending this video very awkwardly. So this is my 35-week belly. Baby number 3.